On, or?
It will. It always does that.
Are we live? Are we going on?
Hi, Beth.
Hi, Beth. Hi, Beth, if you can hear us yet. Hi, Patty. Still working out the fun stuff. It takes a little bit of a delay to pop on. So, hey, Lori. Yeah, Brenda almost fell in the garage. I told her when she was coming down the stairs, she almost fell. When she got out of the porch and hit the snow and the ice, and she goes, and I said, "Oh, it's gonna get slipperier. That's not the slipperiest spot." She
You
goes,
got your mic on?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we have them on.
She said out here, and then I said that. Let me my volume on here. And then she said that if it was outside, that was going to be slippery, and I said, no, it's going to be inside the garage. Hey, Don. It's going to be inside the garage. That's going to be the slipperiest. And for sure, she almost fell in the garage. So, yeah on her crutches on the ice. So, yeah, Don, on Karen's thing, I made a couple comments to you. And, are you able to see any of my comments? Because I've heard people in the past say that a lot of times they'll be like commenting to somebody and they can't see certain people's comments or whatever. So, or maybe you did and maybe you didn't. So yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I guess it doesn't matter. So yeah, so we're gonna be looking at some jade. Wait for a couple more people to show up. Hey Danny, how you doing? Brenna's supposed to be my moderator, and
well, you don't let me do it.
I don't let you because you're not doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, some interesting things that happened.
He wanted to know if you got the meteorite polished.
Yeah, it's on the floor over there. Yeah, we're polishing that up. I mean, not me. Doctor Professor. He's in his shot. He's in his office right now. So yeah. But I do have the spectrumizer here in the lab, or I should say the rock room. This isn't the lab. This is the rock room. So yes, I have the spectrumizer at ready in case I need to use it on this jade or whatever. But yeah, I was hoping that Doctor. Now I got a brain fart. Now that I tried to think of something, I completely forgot what I was thinking about. But yeah, I was hoping he was going to watch the show and, kind of like, hey, not this show, but that show. And kind of like, is he going to get mad because I did a parody of, and if anybody doesn't know the show we're talking about, it's What's My Rock? And I kind of did a parody on that. If anybody's bored this weekend, go look at What's My Rock, watch some of his videos, and then watch my video, which was What's My Stone? And it was a parody on that. So if anybody's familiar with the show, What's My Rock, knows exactly. I mean, this guy, oh, bless his heart, how he's able to handle these people coming on the show. Because absolutely, and if you're not familiar with the show, absolutely everybody that comes on the show thinks they found a meteorite. And as you know, everybody knows meteorites are pretty freaking rare. Yeah, no, I don't have none either. I got one in the house, but it's like, it's like that big. So yeah, meteorites are pretty rare. Everybody comes in with these big, huge chunks of iron, slag, and they're all meteorites, and you just can't prove these people wrong because in their mind it's a meteorite, and that's just how it's going to be from then on. So yes, I did a parody on that show. But what happened in the rock room this week was Brenda had foot surgery. Some of you may have known. So now she's
laid up.
Crutches. If you can see the crutches, maybe
I had an internal brace put on my tendon.
Yeah, so there was
in my
that.
foot.
Yeah, so stitches and cuts and casts.
Yeah,
and
no
stuff,
walking on it for 2 weeks.
So then I was laughing at her, and she took a antique pewter teapot and hit me in the head with it and cut my head wide open. So we were both injured
No,
for
that's
the
because
week.
I had that finger that I smashed in the
Oh
car
yeah,
door.
that's because the week before. Because I was making fun of her for smashing her finger in the car door. That's why she hit me in the head with that antique pewter
That was
teapot,
truly an
coffee
accident.
pot, and it was a big. I mean, it. She dropped it from. We got like vaulted ceilings, and the very top shelf. She freaking knocked it off, and it went woo, bong, and it's got like a sharp edge on it, and yeah, that's what hit me. So yeah,
Well, I told you to watch out.
it was real pleasant, real interesting.
Don's telling you to blink twice if you need help.
Yeah, I was gonna say they have that hand gesture, like I don't remember exactly. I've seen videos where it's
like this.
yeah, it's like that. But I thought if we start doing that, next thing you know, FBI is going to be breaking down the door and hey, somebody need help. And like, well, no, we were joking. Nobody needs help. Well, we both need help, but not that kind of help. Not like the FBI is going to be able to help anything like that. So no, we don't need that kind of help. We need other kind of help. So anyhow, so we're going to be looking at some jade, but rather than look at some jade, because normally not too many people show up right away, we'll look at some not jade first. So that's always a good starter point to look at stuff that is not jade, but people get confused by it because automatically you see green, and if people aren't familiar, jade comes in multitude of colors, and there's jade, there's nephrite and jadeite. So hey Addie, how you doing?
She just came on.
I know, I saw.
Yeah.
So there's nephrite and then there's jadeite. So if you would have a piece of nephrite jade like this is, and hey Jeff, if this would be jadeite jade, I wouldn't have this here. This would be,
Cottonwood Trails Gold Camp.
Hey, Cottonwood. So yes, if this was nephrite or jadeite jade, this would be worth a ton of money. But because it's nephrite, did I say that right? If this was jadeite, it'd be worth a ton of money. But nephrite is the lesser of the two as far as prices go and quality. So what we get mainly, and there's even, you can get jade in Wisconsin. I've got some Wisconsin jade here. I got BC, I got Taiwan, I got a piece of Turkish I wasn't able to find, but this is Wyoming jade. So yeah, we got a bunch of different kinds of jade. But first, we'll show you some not jades.
Is that Lisa?
No, that's Lori. Hey, Lori.
We better say hi to Mom.
Oh, and hey, Janetta. So Janetta was Brenda's mom and dad were out here. So yeah, so let's look at some different stuff that people often get confused with. Jade.
So they think it's jade, but it's not jade.
I can move the camera too. Would that help?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. So, all right, everybody, fasten your seatbelts. We're gonna be doing some camera moving. And if anybody knows me with my camera moving, it's pretty scary stuff. So yeah, so let's see if we can zoom in here, and I can actually whoa.
Yeah.
So here's a common one, people might get confused, and I got a flashlight here too. Whoop, sorry. And you can see the this is very hard to do with one hand.
Do you want me to do it?
So you can see how translucent that is, but this is actually Veracite. So this is not jade. This is Veracite. Okay, I'll block Brenda in. This, which people may be familiar with, and I can get this wet too, which might help a little bit. I mean, I'm going to be moving stuff around, making people sick.
Well, if you want me to help. So, what are the odds on finding British Columbia jade in the glacial till in Indiana?
I don't know. There's a lot, like I say, there's a lot of possibilities, I guess, because the glaciers. I don't know if they went way down there. There's a lot of, like I say, what we're going to be doing.
So Don is saying it's 0% because
yes. So there's a lot of jade fakes out there. So we'll be going through some of these jade lookalikes, and what you're probably finding out there would be and it'll hit me.
And
but
then
right
bowenite is some kind of jade that is found in South Oregon and North California, from what I've seen.
And geez, why is my freaking head blank?
Well, that's because you had to take care of me, and I made you brain dead.
Freaking brain dead. So yes, and here's some chrysoprase.
So this is all not jade.
Yeah, these are not jades, and again, these are all very very translucent, but these are not jades. So yes. And then you have this, which is chrysoprase. So
and it's not jade.
And it's not jade. And chrysoprase.
Well, that's kind of a fluorescent green.
Yes. Now this would be a real good fake for jadeite jade, because that is what jadeite jade looks like. It's that beautiful apple green, and I know this is white, but that's actually the light coming right through. But this is a real good fake.
And then Don said, "Isn't jade harder than all these?"
Oh, jade is actually not very hard. And that's a thing too. Jade isn't necessarily hard, but it's very
watch where you're going.
Yeah, I know. I'm bending over, but it's very durable. So it's strong. It's not hard, but it's very strong, which kind of seems weird. Right, Audie. It's not it's fibrous, and that's what gives it strength, is it's very fibrous, but it's not hard, if that makes sense. So here's a piece. This is what Karen was showing us last night. This is the stuff she got from Theo. I think it was Round Top Mountain or something. I can't remember what she got, where she got that. Yes, amazing Amazonite, right, Audie? So yeah, this is what and I can, again, I got it. So this is, again, very translucent, but again, not jade.
Supposed to watch out for antimatter.
Yes. Now this one will get wet.
Do you have a wetter there?
Yes. So this here, again, is not jade. And I don't know if this is, well, I'm not even going to try. This is too thick. But again, green color, got some different colors, but not a jade.
So all this is still not jade.
No, this is not a jade.
Do you want me to take that piece too?
Well, I don't want to sit on the table because it's going to get wet.
Well, right here, put it on the napkin.
No, I got it. I'll think of something here. Okay, next up, we've got, everybody look familiar? This is,
hi, Ryan.
Hey, Ryan. This is green moss agate. And this comes from a few different places too.
Beef steaks.
What?
Beef steaks.
Beef steaks?
Yes.
Hey, Cheryl. So, yes, I got a couple.
Warren. She called you Warren.
Yes, Warren. Warren's not here. Warren left the lab and he was all pissed off. And we're not thinking that Warren's going to be back to the lab in a while. So, again, this is some green moss.
Is there a cold fly right there on there? He's walking around on there. He's cold.
So again, this is green moss. And again, not jade, green moss. And this, I'll get this wet. Because I've got, in this green moss we get from a few different places, but this old stock stuff I got is really, really nice. As far as colors and stuff. Yeah, we get every time we turn the wood burner on or the pellet stove on in here, we get flies coming out of the woodwork, and they start to come back to life. Which I guess that's the way flies work.
I know you're looking right at them.
Whoa! Oh, was I? Let's zoom in on him. There he is. It's 0 degrees outside. We got a fly. That means I'm like half dead. But yeah, there's a good look at that moss.
So these are all not jade.
Yeah, these are non-jades. We're kind of showing some non-jades because...
So you can have green that's not jade.
Yes, we're looking at the green stuff. And...
You know, actually, there's a lot of rocks that are green.
Yes, there's a lot of greens. And then this should be an easy one for everybody. There's a nice green stone, right? That is Kambaba jasper from Africa. Kambaba.
Oh. Yeah, that fly is reading Jerry's notes.
Joe notes? That's, yeah. Yes, I got to have notes. When you get to be our age, you need notes. And of course, this was cut with an oil saw, so this is going to be real tough to tell. But again, nice green, little red flecks in there. Anybody know what that is? Not jade. That's bloodstone. Why they call this bloodstone is beyond me. I guess there's a little bit of... This is from India. So...
Maybe you nicked yourself and it threw some blood on there.
Yeah, you would think. Right, Ryan. You know, they... for something totally green, you think they could have had a better name than bloodstone. Now here's a piece of green quartz. Now it just hit me now. What you probably find down in Indiana is serpentine. So serpentine is a real common jade mistaker where people think it's jade, but it's actually serpentine. Jade and serpentine are very, very close. I think the difference is serpentine is going to form jade, if that makes any sense, right? So yeah, so it can be a lot of different things. And here, like this, if I can get this wet, this would be a piece of serpentine. And if I get the flashlight here, I don't know. There you go. So see how this is. Oops, sorry. See how that is? That's serpentine. So very, very similar to jade. Often confused for jade, but it's not.
But jade has a waxy color, doesn't it? Doesn't it look waxy?
No, that what you're talking about would be like a slick. Like when it gets weathered, it kind of gets like a slick. And there's a piece of like green jasper.
So all these are not jade yet.
These are all not jades. But just to let you know that all the green stuff out there all can look like jade. Oops, sorry for making people dizzy again. But they're not jade. That's like lizard stone or some kind of petrified algae or something. This right here. Yes, right, Adi. A serpentine is a group of soft green hydrogenous magnesium silicates. And then
He
my thing went dead.
he's saying that this stuff is very dark green with a brown husk around it.
Dark green with a brown. Yeah, serpentine can have, it can be exactly like what. There's that fly moving around now. Serpentine can be.
He's just trying to wing it. That's what Cheryl said.
Wing it, like
Yeah.
make it. Yeah, maybe you should watch a Dr. Obvious and on What's My Rock and bring it in. And again, there's
Lori wants to know, can you find jade in many different colors, Jerry?
Yes, jade comes in all different colors. Jade can come in pretty much every color. They're discovering it in the rainbow. This is actually used to be something. This even might even be a piece of jade, because jade will have some quartz veins in it too. Not often, but it can. So yeah, it's the real dilemma. The rock identification. I mean, you really, to just look at a rock and know what that rock is, it's impossible, because there's so many tests that you can do on the rock.
All this stuff yet is still not jade?
Yeah, this is still not jade. So you can just see how many jade fakers.
So how can you tell the difference of what's jade and what's not?
Well, again, that's going to be your tests. Let me flip this around again. So there's a lot of tests you can do. You can do your hardness test, but really, I mean, you can go into some of the jade, the good jade houses, the manufacturers, and they even, they literally have to, you can bring in, and people like maybe like the Asians can, go up and look at it and tell right away, maybe, I don't know, but a lot of people know you need to literally send it in and have it checked out. That's how hard it is to tell what's actually jade or not jade. So, what's going to really help you in identifying jade is where you're getting it from. So if you're in an area that jade is prevalent, that's going to be a way to know you're getting jade, and that's basically it. You can find a lot of other rocks in a lot of different places, but jade come from certain places. And like I say, jade will even come in from Wisconsin. So yes. See, Adi's got all the good info and stuff. So yes, there's a lot of imitators. Jade, no. So that being said, let's look at some jade. That's why we're here, right? So let me turn on the light, another light. So let me zoom this in again, since it zoomed back out. So this, maybe I can get a better light here. Oh, this is much better here. So this, believe it or not, is a piece of jade. So this is broken out of a rock or a big, a formation, not alluvial, like what you find in a river, whatever. This is what jade looks like when it's like broken out and weathered. It's not weathered like weathered smooth, but it's got this rough skin on it. So when you're out looking around, boy, would you know that's a piece of jade?
No, that would be pretty tough to tell that was jade.
But the lights ain't really doing it justice, and obviously in sunlight, right in here, you can get a hint, and I don't know if I can
use the light.
Use the light. And that's how they'll do these tests. But there you can, that's almost too bright.
You
But
can
now
see green
you can
in
see
it.
the green. So this is a piece of jade in the rough. That's what it looks like.
Lori's accusing you, saying that that's a piece of tater from the backyard.
A tater? Yeah. Yeah, I wish my taters were like that. Now, again, I'm moving around, probably making people sick. There's another piece of jade. And again, this is just, if you would, again, and I always say that, I don't say this often enough, you could walk by rocks a million times and boy, you just don't know.
So if you would cut this, would it be green in the inside?
And I'll show you. I've got some cut pieces. So yeah, this is what we collected. This is jade.
So it'd be very hard to tell that this was
yes,
jade.
very hard to tell that this is jade, but and again, it's not picking it up, but you can see a green on this side. You can kind of see a faint green through there. You can see it really good there. Maybe if I'd get it wet, it would show a little bit better. But yeah, this is the rough stuff. Before and I just left these pieces. Hey kid, I just left these pieces rough like this, just so you could kind of see what a rough piece would look like without any weathering. This is rough. This is no weathering. It's just busted out of the formation. That's what jade looks like in the rough. And like you say, I just got these pieces and left them like this because I'm like everybody else. I got to cut open every freaking piece you find just to see what, because it comes in so many colors and so many varieties that you got to cut open every piece just to see. And again, this is a big chunk. And again, right there, you can see the green. I know it's tough to tell. And it actually has kind of a green hue to it. So, so then, what it looks like when you polish it is there's Wyoming jade. So you can see, and you see these what appear to be fractures, and they can be fractures too, but what jade will get is what they call tears. So it's not necessarily a fracture, it's a tear. So a tear, because jade is so fibrous, and it's actually like just before or just after asbestos. So, your fibrous materials. So you get these tears in it, and that's another way when you cut it, that's another way to tell it's jade, because you'll get these tears. And they don't go, it's not a fracture, it's not going through, it's the fiber tearing on the surfaces. And if you polish it, like a lot of people, when you polish it, you'll get like this orange peel, but you have to do certain steps to not get orange peel. So you don't do any polishing like on your cabber, on your fine wheels, and you don't use a lot of water because that'll give you your orange peel. So you actually have to stop, after your like third wheel.
Cheryl thinks that looks like a dancing man in there.
A dancing man?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's my reflection, Cheryl. That's me dancing in the background. So yeah, so to not get that orange peel, you have to do like different processes, and now you can see how that's smooth like that. It's polished, completely polished, but very smooth. And this is a really, I don't know if I can get a real good look at the green, but again, very, very nice piece. And these are big, and then here's the outside skin. And then of course, I don't want to make anybody sick here.
Of course you do.
I know. But I gotta.
So why is a Wyoming jade so expensive?
I don't really know. You tell me, because that's the thing is, all the like when we picked this stuff in the 80s, all the easy stuff is gone, and now you can't go out there and find. You can still find some alluvial stuff. Corey from oh geez, why is my brain freaking dying? My brain's dead. Evolution Rock Hunter Corey, he's in Idaho, and he goes out in the Teton River, and he finds big pieces of jade, maybe some serpentine too. But so it's still around, but the glory days are long, long gone. And if you look at this piece, when we're talking about jade and jadeite.
So Ryan would like you to do your jade polishing process on the Discord.
Oh yeah, I could do that. So now you can see the green. That's where am I at? So you can see the translucency. That's what people are. Well, that's what people are looking for. The green translucency of your jade. Oh, I'm moving people around again. So then it'll come in like this smoother variety where you don't have that kind of the green. And this is all, and people call black, black jade black. It's not black. It's just so dark green that it just gives the appearance of black.
So darker than an olive green.
Yes. So there's a piece of jade that's not. And this, if I can kind of dry this off a little bit, I shouldn't have got this wet. This is what they call a weather slicked. Now you can see this isn't wet, this isn't polished. This is actually weather slicked.
So it gives it that waxy appearance?
Yes, this piece was laying on the ground on the surface. That's why it's so fractured, because it froze, thawed,
Kid thinks you should jump up and down when you move because you're moving so much.
I know.
You gotta
I try not to, but
yeah, you do.
That's the thing with the light, because the lights are the lights. So yes, I try not to, but I can't help it. And of course,
yeah, that is the natural polish.
The what everybody's after is this two-tone stuff. So you got the apple jade on the bottom, and you got the black on top. And again, you can see if you look in those white spots in the black, you can see the green. So that is green, and it just looks black. But people love this too because they make their carvings out of this two-tone stuff. So that's what people really want. And then they want that apple green color yet too. So yeah. So then you got like some stuff like this. And I don't even know if I can get back far enough. And if I would get this, I know I'm moving. And a lot of this stuff I kind of surface polished. But again, this is a real nice piece. And this is again with those tears in there. Just a few black specks here, but this is some real, and you can see, of course,
the different colors of green on there. Yes, around the edges.
But yes, these are some monsters. I can't even, let me put this down. If you look, that's me touching it. These are some monster pieces. Now here's another piece of rough, and this is black. And it looks black, but it's not. It's actually green. And again, it's tough to tell, but here I can see that it's green. So yeah, it looks black, but it's green. Oop, let's get this one wet here. Yes, there's a lot to look at. So again, here's some, look, you can see the translucency, but yeah, some of this is real high quality. And again, like everything else, you get your qualities where it's look at that surface. You get some red stuff on there. Maybe that was the dozer. So yeah, it can vary in quality too. Now here's a piece. Yeah, why do I keep not getting these wet, right? Now here's a piece of green that's mottled with some white. And this looks more like a serpentine than a
Cinnabar?
jade.
Cinnabar?
Cinnabar?
Yeah.
Cinnabon? I get them in the truck stop all the time. Cinnabuns. So that's why it's very tough to determine what is serpentine and what is jade.
Oh, the red stuff. Cinnabar.
Yes, the red is cinnabar. Yeah, deadly. Now you can hear that. You hear that tink, tink, tink? There's another jade
Hi,
giveaway.
Mr. Chubby.
Hey, Mr. C. Now this chunk here, and again, I can't
Jerry's going to get himself some muscles here.
can't even hold this back far enough. This is a giant, giant slab. Yeah, I can't even cut this in my saw. I had to cut pieces off the end, and I'll show you later why I cut pieces off the end. Okay, now we move along here. Now here's a 5-gallon pail, and this 5-gallon pail here is
These are all jade, right?
This is all jade, yes. So again, you have some of the green mixed in with black, with like major black, but not the black flecks. Now here's a piece where you've got more of the black appearing in it. And again, you can see these tears where they're not necessarily a fracture, but they're kind of like a tear. It's going at an angle. And it's not
so it
like
doesn't go through the stone?
Yes, it didn't fracture like all the way across, and it doesn't go, I don't know how deep it goes. So if you were to
cab that.
So when you, like I say, when you cab this stuff, that's why you got to be careful when you're polishing it, because you don't want to polish it, because you'll start ripping out them fibers and you'll cause tears. And then the tears it'll make it look like orange peel. And if anybody doesn't know what orange peel is, if you look at an orange peel, you'll see it. You'll see it on like bad paint jobs too, where you get that kind of ripple look to it. That's orange peel. So yeah, you want to avoid that. So again, here's a nice big rough chunk. And then I cut this little tiny end off. And that's what that piece will look like. So you'll get some smooth stuff, you'll get some rough stuff. There's a nice big old block. And what they want, and this is kind of like, see if I get this wet again.
Now so you can make beads and jewelry.
I'm not making beads. Yes, you can. But now this stuff, because it doesn't have any black in it, this is getting to be like a higher grade. This is what people want. Oops, sorry, getting too close. They want this stuff with no black flecks in it. And if I would hit this with the flashlight here. Oop. You can see the translucency as I get close to the edge, and I'm still away from the edge quite a bit. Whoop. So yes, this is some really good jade, and like I say, without those black flecks in there, that's what people look for. And again, when it's, see there, you could see the green on the outside of that one, and then the inside. So this bucket is mainly this stuff with the black flecks in it. And like I say, some of it, and again, you can see this piece with the tears. And again, it just goes down. Here's a piece of what they call red rind. It gets kind of more of a red rind. I got some other pieces that are even more red, but again, this is that green with the black, the black specks or whatever, which is, you know, your lower grade. I mean, it's still, you know, cool, nice, but it's still a lower grade. And again, some of these are just, you know, massive pieces. Let's see if I get that one wet too. Oh, am I freaking moving around again?
Yeah.
Now, this one, you can actually see on the top here, you can see that band of asbestos, you know, or kind of like what you get in like a tiger eye. You can see that band in there. And you can see this has got a lot of that black in there. That's, people don't like that because of the black. And I think, you know, I think it's just as cool with or without, you know. But yeah, this is all the green with the black. So now as we move along here to our, whoa. Now here's another piece of red skin. Now this, again, doesn't have like the black, it's got black streaks, but again, on the top here, you have that, you have that asbestos layer.
So is that because it has asbestos in it?
I think it's like before asbestos or after asbestos. So asbestos turns into jade or something. It's because it's one of the more fibrous materials. So now here's a piece, you know, again, more of the, you can even see where you got a couple cabs drawn out in there. So this is because it's a darker green. It doesn't have a lot of the black specks on it or in it. It's more of a high quality. And you get that really, really beautiful green. And like I say, and we're looking at, obviously we're looking at big, huge blocks here.
Yeah, we need to see like slices
so it's hard
of
to tell. It's hard to tell from a big block what jewelry would look like. But now here's a piece that has no anything. It's just like a flat green. And again, you can see the tears in it. And you can see the outside rind. And then we get to, oh, let's see if I get some of this wet here too. We get to stuff like this. So that is jade.
That's jade too?
Yes, this is jade. You can see some good, really crystally jade parts on it. But yes, this is jade, but not your typical green jade. This is mottled with kind of like a cream color. It's kind of heading towards pink, but it's kind of a beige, more of a beige. Now here's a nice piece of more of the streaky, crazy looking stuff.
So is jade hard to work with?
No, it's actually pretty easy, other than, like I say, you got to be careful when you polish it so you don't get the orange peely.
So it's easy to cut out and...
Yeah, it's not gonna, well, no, because you're gonna be dodging, fractures and stuff like that. So you know, it's, you know, it's like any other stone. You know, you have to find your stone. So here's some pink in there. You can kind of easily see that that's pink in there. Yeah, I heard Brian and Julie have got some new stuff. They've got some he said some lavender material. Here's a piece of black again too. And again, it's not black, it's green. But yeah, he's got like some new lavender stuff that he found. Now here's a piece that's just about totally pink. And this stuff is all from Wyoming. There's another piece of the model stuff. So now from...
Careful, you're getting people sick.
I know, I always do that. Ugh, I farted. So now, if we look at...
You did not.
From other countries, you get stuff like this.
Lori wants to know if you cut it really thin and you look through it, would it be black? Would the black look green?
No, the black will still look black. I'll show you in a second. I've got some stuff. So again, this is stuff from like other countries. Now, when people talk
and these
about
are all jade.
BC, this is British Columbia jade right here. If I can get it wet, I probably can't. I don't want to get my table wet. I know I'm moving around again. I'm moving around. But this is BC jade from British Columbia. So you don't have that black per se. It is a lot of the Wyoming stuff. And how I know this is BC jade? Because it says right on the end it's BC jade. That's how we all know it's BC jade, right? And this is another piece of BC right here. And again, you can see the translucency. There's another little square. Now this right here, again, I can get this wet. Oh, I can try to get it wet. This jade here, which is just crazy looking streaky, this is from Taiwan. And you know how we know this is from Taiwan?
This says from Taiwan. It doesn't say made in China.
It says Taiwan jade. So that's how we know this is Taiwan jade, because it says it is. Okay, so getting back to the whatever. Here's another piece. I polished this. There's a piece that's polished, and there's that asbestos layer up on top. And see how it's not. I know it's scratched up since it's been polished because it's been on display and beat around. But that's how you want to polish it, so you don't have
yes, everything is made in Taiwan.
So if we get to Lori's question, right here, whoop, I gotta be in camera. Right here's our piece of jade, right? And if Brenda holds a light, now you see how you can still see the black. Maybe you can't see it as much. So, and this is pretty thin. And what we do with this is we make earrings with it. And that's why that's the nice thing about jade. Now, if people are familiar, when you cut stuff this thin, and that's pretty freaking thin. When you cut stuff this thin, then you start to cut out shapes in it. It just fractures and cuts. Well, that's why jade helps it being strong. And this is great for guitar picks too. It helps it being strong where it's strong but not hard. So you can make these little tiny little, and again, you can see, well, we don't have to, but you can see that you can make these little intricate designs with these earrings. And I'm starting to lose focus. And they'll be fine. And here's one that's done. Whoop. And this one I orange peeled. Now, if you can see that, you can kind of see it orange peeling. See that how it's got the, just because it was so tiny and I was just doing it because I don't dop anything and I was doing it with my fingers. And yeah, I burnt it or orange peeled it because I didn't heed my own warnings. So yeah, so that's, and then of course when you do the matching earrings, then you cut some stuff that's a little bit thicker for your pendants. So that's why this stuff's all chopped up like that. So then getting to the stuff you can make with jade, as you can make, I zoomed in all the way. Let me check here. Oh yeah. You can make pendants. And of course this is, I don't know if you can see that, if I can hold something behind it. Year of the monkey, that's not going to help at all. There's the monkey. So this stuff was made in, China, and obviously for the tourist trade, because this stuff is like dirt cheap. You can get this stuff for like
But that
nothing.
isn't very good looking jade.
This is actually really good looking jade. This is what you're looking for, is very translucent. This is what they want. This is what the Asian people want. Look at my fingers, how dry they are.
Yes.
This is what people want, is the translucent jade, which is different than what we want. So here is a dragon pendant, and these are all pendants, or these two are pendants. And you can
these
see,
are carved, correct?
yes, you can see the carve. This is carved out of a stone. And you can see the dragon. And you can see the detail in this. And you can find these on the internet for like nothing, And as a matter of fact, I didn't get these off the internet, but I got these for like nothing. I mean, absolutely not. And I thought, I'm gonna, and I've got a bunch of them somewhere else in a bin somewhere, some donut pieces with metal inlay and stuff. But hey, Caleb. But yeah, how could you, if I were to spend the time and make something like this, the 12 months of the year that it would take me to carve this, I'd have to sell it for $12,000, or a year. I guess it'd be like, like $80,000, and they're selling these things for like $5.
And that's white jade, or
yeah, this is it's a white with some green. I don't know, it doesn't look real whatever, but what a beautiful piece. But now getting to a little bit older jade. Whoop. This here, maybe upside down. Now this is a little bit older, and this is a little bit finer. See, that's real good. Now this is like getting to be like jadeite, which I doubt it is. But this is a real pretty piece, carved, of course, both sides, not your average thing where it's going to be like one side. It's carved on both sides. And I've heard of these as being like amulets, or like they'll put these on their belts, which are, of course, they're not belts like we have. They're like cloth belts. But yeah, very, very pretty, very unique. And it's actually
that's
pretty,
a lot of
pretty
carving.
old. Yes, very nice. And then, of course, for the tourist trade, everybody's got to have one of these, the Laughing Buddha. And actually, this piece, even the base, whoop, the base is signed and the piece is signed. So this was, again, You know, maybe nephrite. Maybe not, because again, you can get these online for $100, couple $100 or something. Not what I paid, but and I don't
Evolution
know if the
Rock
ones,
Hunter.
and I don't know what's that.
Evolution Rock Hunter. You were just
Oh, hey
talking
Corey, we were just talking about you. Hey, bud, I was talking about the jade you're finding out in Idaho. You missed it. Now we're just getting to the end of the show, but yes, I talked about the jade you'd been finding. So people were wondering if you could still find jade, and I said you're still out there right now finding it. So yes, you can still find jade. So yeah, and this comes, like I say, with its.
And you got to rub his little belly
with
here.
his. I got it backwards.
Yeah, I got to rub his little belly.
It come with his very own. Little stand. Yeah, you got to rub him for luck.
Yeah, I need
guess
luck.
he's the laughing Buddha, so maybe not. And then when you get to the higher end stuff, there's this. And these are, each one of these little discs are a different saying. And again, this is jade, and this is 14 karat gold too. And these all have,
I love this bracelet.
This is Brenda's. I got this for Brenda, but yeah, this is pretty cool. And I got this for, people just don't know what things are. I got this thing for a steal. Even the gold, I mean, it's not like it's a lot of gold in it, but those are pretty nice pieces of gold.
Hi, Lava. Joseph.
Hey, Joseph. Hey, is it nice and warm out there in Montana? Woo, dang, it's cold here, man.
Wants to know if that's charms on there.
I think no, they're actually characters. But what and they're all 4 different characters. You don't need the light; it's actually taken away from it. So they're like some kind of like characters, but I don't read. I don't read. Yes, yeah, we're supposed to get a little bit of warm up. So yeah, I'm all for that. We're frozen tundra here. So yeah, what a pretty piece. So let me turn this around, throw it in the stand. Back in the stand. So I'll quit now that a couple people here. I'll give a quick run through of the jade. No, I knock stuff over. So this was just a little jade. This was some of the different color jades. This is a 5-gallon jade in here. This is a bin of jade here, and some of these pieces are, like I say, these are some monster pieces, and I know it's kind of hard to tell, but this is a good 20-pound. And then again, now I'm really messing up.
So if somebody really wanted
Here's some stuff that I just face
try a
polished.
piece of jade, could they contact you and get a little sliver from you?
Yeah, possibly. So yeah, there's for the late bloomers, kind of what you missed. You can go back and look. And yeah, so all this stuff is from this stuff was collected in the 80s from Granite Mountain. But I was looking online, and you can still, they said that you can still go out there and surface collect. You can only do 25 pounds a day, but they have it on the trust land. So yeah, so you can, like jade, several different states. But the stuff, this is the stuff, the main stuff I have is from Wyoming, from the Granite Mountains. But you can get it from the Wind River Mountains, the Sage Creek Basin, and areas around Guernsey, Wyoming, and the alluvial deposits, which are the stuff that's in like the riverbeds, is the stuff that'll be. like this that'll have that weathered, look for that smoother, like this is like just like silk, not as shiny as what like jasper would get because it's fibrous, but it definitely does have that wind, that almost like water shape to it. So
So
the
Ryan said
alluvial
he got
finds
some from an auction near Chicago in September. He only tried to cab a piece from a couple of the chunks.
right, yeah, Ryan. So when you're doing it on your wheels, you don't use a lot of water and wear your mask because it's fibrous. So any of your fibrous materials, you want to protect yourself a little bit better. But yeah, you don't want to go up all the way and polish it because you'll get that orange peel like I had on that one piece. You stop and then just use your regular polish. You can even use like a Dremel wheel or whatever, and just use like a polish, like a serenium, and then just polish it that way. So you don't wanna like get it like real hot. Again, it's kind of tricky, but yeah. So you don't have to polish it like all the way up on your 3,000 wheels. You want to stop before that, and you want to do a lot more of the hand finesse kind of polishing. So, but anyhow, so yeah. So getting back to the last piece right here, and they talk about like flint napping, which jade is not a flint napping material. Jade is a whole different ball game. It doesn't have conchoidal fractures, so jade is not something like that. But what you can, because jade is super tough, it's not hard, but it's tough. You can make stuff like, are you ready? Like this. So this is a jade knife I made. And again, I could probably take this out. Where'd the flashlight go? So this is all, again, all jade. And it's two different colored jades that I used. But again, I just did it's a letter opener. And I actually made a few of these. And of course, they're all gone. Of course, you make anything cool and everybody's like, I want it, I want it. And this is just 3 pieces of jade. I used a real clean non-black speck jade for the thing, and then I just use some of that other jade, the stuff that's green kind of modeled for the handles, and I just epoxied it together.
So says she claims it.
And then yeah, so well,
oh, Jerry. Christ.
That was funny, right? So yeah, so and it is. It's concrete down there. I should knowing me how many
You're
times
gonna drop it.
How many times I drop crap. Yes, I should not have this in my hand right
No.
now. So yeah, so this is the jade knife, and if anybody remembers the second Indiana Jones movie, I stole this from Indiana Jones while he wasn't looking. I went in his pack and took his knife, his jade knife. So yeah, this is something you can do. I'm gonna get over the edge, and you can do with jade because it's very durable. Guitar picks is another one. Instruments you can, and I have made a bunch of guitar picks for Brenda's
cousin
Eric. He's in a band, so I made him
Lock 8. If anybody's interested.
Yes, I made him guitar picks, and he loved them. So yeah, because jade, very durable. You can get it pretty thin, and it's still got not necessarily flex, but it's got durability, which is different than hardness. It's durable because of the fibrous materials. But again, with it being fibrous materials,
Audie looked on the internet, and the animals on that bracelet are animals from Chinese zodiac.
Oh, there you go. See, I knew that, but I just was waiting for somebody else to say that what it was, because I didn't want to be a know-it-all. Thanks, Audie. Yes. So yeah. So again, jade is fibrous, so it's very durable. But if I would drop this on the ground, it would break. Trust me, it would break. And some of the other ones, just doing the tips, I crack the tips. It's like, oh, then you got to make it shorter and shorter and shorter. So, it can break. It's not superhuman. So yeah, there's that. But again, it's very, very durable. And, come on, who wouldn't wear something like that? Little monkey. This is kind of big. If you were wearing that, that would be, that would probably be like a Jeff. That would be something like Jeff likes the big stones. I don't wear, if anybody noticed, I don't wear jewelry. I have lots of jewelry. I have when I was a kid, I was at my sister's house, and I used to spend a lot of time at my sister's, and her wedding rings were sitting by the sink. She must have took them off by the sink. And you're a kid, and I grab it and I stick it on my finger, and I'm like, oh, look at that, and it won't come off. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. And ever since then, boy, I just do not like I have a nice opal ring I put on my finger, and then same thing. I'm like, oh crap. And I got it off.
Panic.
So I took my ring sizer, just a regular mandrel, and I tried to just tap it.
And he broke it.
Just to make it a little bit, and I freaking broke it. Yes, not the metal, but the freaking opals. Of course, the stones freaking broke out of it. I'm like, why'd I do that? Because we're guys. We do stupid stuff. That's what we do. We do dumb stuff all the freaking time. If I could count how many times, like I say, have I made cabs, and then or did a slice, and then went to take a picture of it and dropped it on the concrete floor, and still to this day, I still hold stuff up over the concrete floor, even though I just know I'm going to drop stuff and break it. But, it's what we do. No explaining it. So, yeah, so anybody else that joined us late, go see my parody on What's My Rock. I did a parody. It's called What's My Stone. And I kind of, a funny little video. So if anybody has some time, give it a look. It's pretty funny. There will be more in the series too. If anybody was interested, I got, that's one thing I do. I do a lot of thinking. So I do got a couple more ideas of a couple more shows. So at least I'll do a couple more. And then if people like it, my brain, when I'm truck driving, my brain goes on overtime, and that's all you do when you're sitting in the truck is think. So I'll probably have come up with even a couple more ideas. So yeah, the few people that did watch it now kind of liked it, kind of thought it was humor. And again, you have to watch What's My Rock with Professor, and it's not obvious. It's what is his? Oh man, I can't think of his freaking name now. But yes, it's a parody on him. So watch some of his videos, and then you kind of get to know what I was kind of going for. So yeah, so we're gonna leave it end now because we don't want to run it too long. It's been an hour. Again,
I'm getting a little uncomfortable. Maybe.
Yes, it's Brenda's gimped up, so she's got her foot up. She had foot surgery, so she can't be out here real long. And we got to work. Everybody's got to work. Not everybody's got to work, but most of us got to work. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us in the Rock Room, and liking, subscribing, commenting, hoo-ha. Remember, if you're really bored, send me rocks. So, yes, everybody, see you soon in a rock room near you. Live long and prospect. Bye, everybody. How do I shut this off again?